Good evening. Welcome, welcome. We are going to get started. We're going to do our best here to get going. So first of all, I'd like to say hello and welcome everyone to our evening session. This is what we're entitling Celebrating the Next Generation. As we talk about the current state and future of our Native nutrition and health, it's important to remember the impact of on next generations. Our youth are our future, and tonight is an opportunity to celebrate them and hear what they have to say. First tonight, we have a panel led by Estella LaPointe from Dream of Wild Health. Now that's a 10-acre farm in Hugo, Minnesota, if you haven't heard of it, that works to restore the well-being of the Native community through access to nutritious Indigenous foods, medicine, and ways of life. As the youth and community organizer, Estella leads and innovates initiatives that engage Native kids and teens. This includes a Garden Warriors program, which brings young people into the gardens to learn about culture, tradition, farming, health, and leadership. I'll let Estella introduce you to our wonderful panelists that are here this evening. They will talk about their experiences as garden warriors and share their thoughts about the importance of Native nutrition and health with you tonight. So would you please join me in welcoming the next generation, our youth panelist participants, to the stage.
Welcome to our panel. I would like to introduce to you our youth leader, Garden Warriors, and they can do it themselves in their own languages. So, Faith, please start.
Okay. Buju Nindinawe Magani Duk, Urakwa Indigo, Faith Indigenous Zagana Shimong, Wyandotte Indunjaba, Dream of Wild Health Indinoki, Me'u Miigwech Bizendawyeg. So hi all my relatives. The spirits call me Urakwa, which means sunlight, but my name here is Faith. I'm Wyandotte. I'm the Striped Turtle Clan. I work at Dream of Wild Health, and thank you all for listening to me.
Bujun and Dinawe Mangani Duke, Tan Dijanakas, Mako and Dudame, St. Croix, Band of Ojibwe and Dunjaba, Dream of Wild Health and Danoki, Miigwech, meet you. Hi, my name is Taya. Welcome all my different kinds of relatives. I'm very glad to be here. My name is Taya, and I'm Bear Clan. I am from St. Croix, Wisconsin, Band of Ojibwe, and I work here with Dream of Wild Health. Thank you for listening.
Jennifer Buman Amataha, Ihangtuan, Jennifer Buman, Imakiafi, Ihangtuan Amataha. Hello, my relatives. My name is Wakian Hotankawi, Loud Thunder Woman. I'm Jennifer Buman, and I'm a Hangtuan. Thank you.
Hamadakiapi, Chantewa Shtenape Chiuzapiye. Shan Makiapie, Pajuta Shawi Mie. I Hangtuan Hemataha. Hello, my relatives. I shake all of your hands with a good heart. My name is Sean Bielman, but my Dakota name is Red Medicine Woman, gifted to me by my grandmother.
Usually before we speak, we smudge, which we have an abalone shell with sage in it, and then we light it, and it reminds us collectively of a time past when we lived in harmony. But unfortunately, we weren't able to do that today, so just imagine sage smell and our sweetgrass, our cedar. Those are all the medicines that we grow at our farm, along with tobacco. We always put tobacco down before we gather plants. The youth know that the plants are for purpose. They have purposes, utility, medicine. What else?
There's, what I learned is that the plants also have a scientific and a spirituality to them too. And yeah, so they have many different purposes.
So our food is medicine. At Dream of Wild Health, we have a farm. Who wants to talk about the farm?
I will. The farm. We have a farm. It's a 10-acre farm out in Hugo, Minnesota. We currently farm about 3 acres. A few acres. But we have a pollinator meadow. We have a hoop house, which helps us grow earlier in the season and go longer into the season. Our farm, we produce food for our program, for our youth program. So every day our youth eat our food that we grow. And we produce food for our markets, which I also do. I'm the market coordinator at Dream of Wild Health. And we produce food for our CSA, Indigenous Food Share members.
So at the farm, we believe that the plants have a spirit, and we honor those spirits. And we not only grow food, but we go forage in the wild for medicines that can help us, and like bergamot, elk medicine, things like that. Sage, we now have all those things growing in our pollinator meadow. And we also have an orchard that has cramp bark, chokecherries, elderberries. So we do everything in a really good way. And our farm was actually started in ceremony. The Dream of Wild Health was started from our founder, Sally Auger. She had a vision and started this work to heal our people. So I'm very proud of these youth for being here today as healthy young people who have their whole futures ahead of them. Like Sean is now the market coordinator. She actually started as a garden warrior as her very first job. Meeting Diane Wilson on the march that commemorated the women and children that were Dakota people that were marched from Morton, Minnesota to Fort Snelling, which was a concentration camp. So Sean started that journey for her whole family. So we're very proud that she now works for Dream of Wild Health. And Taya has been with Dream of Wild Health for years. And now this summer, she graduated high school this past spring. So this summer, she was the youth program intern, where she made everything happen. So thank you, Taya. And Faith is now a senior in high school. So we uplift her and support her in all her endeavors, because the youth at Dream of Wild Health don't just learn everything that we can teach them at the farm that summer. We provide support for a lifetime. So they learn these life ways that will sustain them. Does anybody want to talk about what a day looks like at the farm? Like, how do we start the day?
We eat breakfast at this picnic table, and it's really nice. And sometimes it's really cold in the morning, which you can get over it and just eat breakfast. Then we smudge. We smudge in a circle, and then we talk about our agenda and how our day is and stuff like that. Then we go and do what our agenda is. Like our culture director, Ernie, talks. He helps us too and tells us stuff. And then there's Hope. Hope is like a culture director too. She teaches us life ways. She walks around the farm and teaches us plants and tells us their spirit and everything. And she prays all the time. It's really nice and peaceful. Then we have lunch, and we eat lunch, and it's really healthy, and it's like everyone's really happy, and we play games afterwards, like frisbee or double ball, and we're just all happy, and we're all like best friends.
So what does Ernie do at the beginning of the day that
He prays.
holds us together? We start our day in prayer. We offer tobacco. The young men usually go around and smudge us. So we smell that and we remember good times. And then we take tobacco in our left hand, and then we all pray. Ernie will pray for us, and we pray together, and then we go offer our tobacco. So that's, revolutionary. That's reconnecting the youth to their Mother Earth. We believe in respecting the earth, the water, the elders, the youth, the pollinators, so that when you have that thinking, then it's hard to pollute water. It's hard to waste water. We actually have a porta potty where we use that instead of flushing. So they learn that as well. And recently we've been able to branch out and partner with different places. If you want to partner with youth leaders, we're here. I've just seen a slide for Roots for the Home Team, which gives food at the Twins games, our food, our healthy salads that the youth leaders devised. Does anybody want to talk about that?
I can talk about that.
Okay.
So in the winter, we met to create a couple salads to sell at the Twins games at Roots for the Home Team, and Sean Sherman helped us come up with the recipes, so that was really fun. And then at the Twins games, we, about 4 of us each time, we get to work and sell our salads, and so we go there and we get there like an hour or 2 before game time, and then we hand out samples, and our salads are pretty interesting. They have a lot of the stuff that we grow from the farm, like ground cherries and hominy, and so they're all really cool, and we get to just bring the taste of like the farm to other people, and a lot of people don't really like salads that much, but they'll try a sample and then they realize that it's actually really good, and so it's really cool to see how people's opinions can change once they try our salads, and so it's a really amazing opportunity that we all have.
So that's an example of a partnership that we have with Roots for the Home Team, and I was really happy because we have a salad that's called pashtayapi, which made me happy because where I'm from in South Dakota by the Missouri, that's the food we eat. So to have it sold at a Twins baseball game with youth behind it, and it's just, the thing that we need right now. I believe that the youth are our future. Nina Tewa Chehindapi, I really love and cherish the youth, and I think it shows. Does anybody want to say anything else?
I'd like to say that the youth at Dream of Wild Health, so this is my first summer as actual employee there, and it was just so nice. And my favorite part was being with the youth. I really, really value and appreciate and really love these 3 ladies here. I've known them previous to working at Dream Wild Health because I just would see them often. And I always hear stories about like how shy she was when she was like 14. I didn't know her when she was 14. I know her as like the young woman she is now. And I would have never guessed that she was sitting somewhere not willing to talk to people. I take her to market with me, and she can talk to anybody on the street, talk about any kind of vegetable. Faith is like the sweetest person I know. Like, she just like exudes. She's like a cheesecake. She's so sweet. Like I can't. Like, if you talk to her, she's so sweet, always concerned about others. Jennifer, she's 13. She's the youngest of us here today, and she's outspoken, and she's like comfortable in who she is. And I'm really jealous of her because I never was like that when I was 13. I was just kind of like, oh, don't talk to me, don't look at me. So, yeah, so I'm really, really proud. I'm really proud of these young women, and I'm so happy. And oh, Lewis is here. I'm so happy he's here. I keep looking at him. I'm like, Lewis. He's a young man. He's growing up, and he's doing really good things. And I was just so fortunate to be with these youth, and that we were in a good environment where our youth coordinator, Stella Point, Diane Wilson, Joy Persall, Ernie Whiteman, Hope Flanagan, they all set a standard for our youth. So that when you come into this farm, you come into our circle, you're kind of just expected to be a healthy, whole, good person. You're not using drugs, you're not running the streets, you're trying to take good care of your health and your future. And just having that kind of expectation there kind of elevates everybody, and everybody is just so good there, and it makes me so happy. And I was really fortunate to get to be with all of them this summer.
Well, I've worked with youth for many years, and I had always seen that the youth that got attention were the ones who were in trouble, and it doesn't work that way. You know, I don't see any disparities changing. So I thought, based on traditional ways, that's how Dream of Wild Health is, based off of traditional ways before colonization. So I thought of this book called Water Lily that was written by one of my relatives, and it does share in there that there are beloved children, and there are that the youth that were doing well were upheld, and the ones who weren't doing so well knew how to be. So they wanted to be at that fire where everybody got gifted and treated well. And I thought, well, let's bring that somewhere. So I was really fortunate to be able to work with Ernie Whiteman, who teaching with love. We don't have a punitive system. It is teaching with love, and not everybody is up to it yet. But when you come out there, you feel safe and secure. This is a farm in Hugo, Minnesota. The magic is taking the youth out of the cities and bringing them to a place where they feel safe, and just loving them up to learn all these things about plants and to learn about life ways. Like, we put up the teepee. Every one of these ladies put it up, and they slept in it, you know. So we do things like that, and we have our teachers out there that teach us how to be in the world, how to put tobacco down and thank the plants for giving us the medicine or the food. That's really, really important. And like I said, when you have respect like that, then it's hard to be a bad relative, because we know that success in life is based on relationships. That's why I'm so happy to know Bob Granda, who is Faith's dad, who is a huge support to us. And he cherishes his child too. He called me up all winter to talk about, what is your program? What do you do? What, you know, he wasn't going to let her just go to any program. So Faith came out thanks to her dad, and now he helps us out a lot. We got to go wild ricing thanks to Bob. So thanks, Bob, for that. That was really sweet and generous. And, you know, that's starting our food getting, you know, how we have to get food. As Taya knows, right? Taya, there probably won't be grocery stores in the future, or water.
Yeah, there's a belief that there might not be groceries, so you need to go back to your traditional ways to find food. And it's just really important because, like, something could happen, like there could be no more grocery stores, or just something terrible could happen. So it's always important to learn, like, the traditional ways to get food and forage. And I always really try to pay attention when we go foraging, and Hope Flanagan's like, this plant does this, and this is the purpose of that plant. And so I really try and pay attention to what she says, because there's not a lot of people like that have the knowledge of plants like it's like the back of their hand. So it's really fascinating to know about these plants and such. Also, what I would like to say about the farm is there's a mutual respect between the elders and the youth, which is really refreshing, because if you went to public school, you would see like at least for my school, there wasn't much of like a mutual respect for the adults and the youth. It was really terrible. So it's always really refreshing to go to the farm and see that there is a respect for the elders, and the elders respect the youth. So, yeah.
And now we're going more places. Like we had the wonderful opportunity to go to an Ojibwe language camp. Faith, would you like to talk about that?
Oh, yeah. So we went to a language camp. We spent 2 nights there, and we camped, and it was really cool. Estelle took about 6 of us up there, and there were a bunch of tents, and we got to learn a lot of language, and then also do a lot of other things like make drumsticks or make moccasins or birch bark biting. So it was all really cool to learn that stuff. And then we also, Hope took us fishing, and we all got to catch our own fish and learn how to clean them, and then we actually cooked them and ended up eating them. That was the first time a lot of us had done that. So I don't know, it was just like a really fun experience. We all bonded, so it was great.
And Faith was making squash over a fire. We had 2 youth feeding the fire, and Faith cut up the squash and cooked it for the elders, and they loved it. So they learned how to cook over a fire, and if it's cold, they start a fire at the farm. They learn a lot of survival skills.
Another thing I wanted to say, so I wanted to go back to talking about lunch. So at the beginning of every day, Estelle picks 2 people to go into the kitchen, and so we get to cook the lunch for that day. And so we use like a ton of ingredients from the farm, and it's really cool because we get to learn a lot of these recipes that we have in our cookbook, and all the lunches are always delicious. And prior to this camp, I didn't really know how to cook, but now I do, and I know a lot of healthy recipes, which is actually, I don't know, I love it. And going to this camp, it inspired me. A lot of the other youth had their native names, and I wanted to get mine. So my tribe is in Michigan, and this summer, me and my family ended up going there for the green corn feast, and I went through the naming ceremony, which was really special, and it was really cool to be a part of. But I also brought one of the recipes there, and I made one of the salads that everybody loves on the farm, and I made it for the people in my tribe, and they were all so excited about it, and they kept asking for the recipe, and so I got the chance to tell them about our mission. And so that's just one of the ways that Drew Wild Health helped me like show other people cool things and inspire them to eat more healthily.
So the youth leaders, the garden warriors, the chorus kids, whatever they learn at Dream of Wild Health, they take it home. And I feel like that's the most important step in our work as bringing nutrition back to our people. It's, traditional food that is nutritional. Traditional nutritional is warrior food. And I feel like when we all get to that place of health, then we'll all be healthy again and come back to the circle and be really good relatives like how we were. We've only lived in this dire straits for 200 years, but before that, we were healthy time immemorial, living together off the land in harmony. So I believe that we can get there again.
So is there anybody with any questions? We like to open up for questions.
Yes. Okay, we have 14 to 15. So we have this big van, and that's our limitation to who can fit in the van. Or if you live at the farm, like Louis does with his grandpa, or Diane has a grandson that she brings, or else Faith will drive. So just basically getting people out there, as many as can fit in the van. So 14 to 15 at a time. And we start at 8 years old to 12-year-olds are called Cora's kids because we have seeds from Cora Baker. We almost forgot about those. Does anybody want to talk about that?
So Cora Baker was what we refer to her as the lifesaver, but she's also a seed saver, and she collected seeds throughout the years. Yeah.
She was a Potawatomi elder that she would be drying her seeds and people would stop and give her more. So her bank grew and grew, and it didn't happen 200 years ago. This was in recent times. So we're the seed keepers. Dream Wild Health has those seeds, and and everything we grow at the farm is non-GMO. We don't use chemicals, herbicides, pesticides, anything like that. Our food is healthy, and it's been tested by the U of M that it's off the charts as far as nutritional value. So I said traditional and nutritional.
And we try to make it easy access for Native people to eat our food, and Native owned, Native grown. But non-Native people also buy our food, so that's cool too.
It all works together. Like we grow it, we harvest it, we cook it, and some of it gets taken to market. So then these guys practice building their confidence by having to sell at markets, which helps them out in their lives.
Is there any other questions? Yeah?
Well, one of the things that I'm trained in is youth program called Best Practices through the U of M, and the number one thing there is safety. So we never have outside people to watch the program because my first interest is the youth, but we can always meet with you and talk to you about how our day goes. But we do invite people to come out on Fridays when the youth are in the city working at community gardens and like hiking at Bedote and just learning the history of Minnesota so they can be healthy, because you have to know where you came from to know where you're going to go. So Fridays we have Volunteer Day, and we have a new website. So check out our website and you can see when those days are, but it's www.dreamofwildhealth.org, and all the info pops up. Any other questions? So for little kids, we have a Chorus Kids group. That's what made me start talking about the seeds, because of Chorus Kids. But that's the littlest group, so that's 8 to 12. And that would go for a week at the farm. And then we partner with this language immersion school called Bedote in Minneapolis, where they bring their kids out in their age group from K to 5, I believe. So you can come out that way. And then with our Beginning Garden Warriors, it's a 3-week program, and 1 week is for camp, but it runs for 3 to 4 weeks, and it's for ages 13 to 18. And then we have another Garden Warriors in August for returning, like these guys were all in it. And we have 100% return rate in our Garden Warriors, our second session. So the kids like it, and then they all learn their language. They all learn how to speak in their languages. Thank you. Any other questions?
As the intern, I kind of watch how the kids interact with each other, and I do notice, like, if somebody is on the more quiet side or the more introverted side, they will do whatever they can to include somebody. So, yeah, so they're really good at including everybody, and I think that's really sweet because usually at schools, I don't know, I just, from experience at school, nobody really like cared. They would just like walk past me. But here they really try to get to know you, and the kids are all very sweet, and there's no bullying. Like that is not tolerated at all.
No, our youth are all friends.
Yeah.
They're all friends in like the real world. Over the winter, they're all friends, and that's really special. And then in the summer, they're super excited to see each other again, because one thing that I've heard is that at Dream of Wild Health, they found a group of youth, like-minded youth, that they're all like, at school, they don't typically see or meet people that are like them, fellow Indigenous people that are passionate about being healthy and trying to keep their communities healthy and trying to learn, that are very open to learning about their culture and being around, like, it's just a bunch of like-minded youth, and they're super excited and happy to be around each other, and they uplift each other to continue to do that throughout their lives. Did that answer your question? Okay.
I have another thing to add. So, how I encourage my friends that aren't part of Dream of Wild Health, I tell them about the recipes I've learned and how cool it is to eat all this food, and I also tell them about the different foods I learned about that I didn't even know existed, and so I don't know. I just encourage them to eat healthy and try to show that eating healthy is actually really good if you cook things right.
And as somebody who has been in Dream of Wild Health for years, I can say that I have made lifelong friends in this program, and I'm very proud to say that.
Yeah, they say it's like a family. You create relationships, and then you're really good to each other. And everything is done in a circle. We all sit in a circle. We all hold each other up in the circle. Sometimes we do a lot of prevention work, like alcohol, drug prevention, suicide prevention, bullying prevention, things like that, where it's in real life, where it's reiterated by real life lessons that all of the teachers have lived through.
I think we have time for one more question, and then we will have to wrap up. Oh yes, we have lots of young men. They're very good. They're very amazing. We have amazing young men. We have Joseph, we have Chaska, we have a lot of them, but none of them were able to make it with us tonight. But but we are, it's amazing because, did you have something? Okay. But we have a lot of amazing young men. We have, throughout, we did Quay Strong this past August, and that is mainly for women. It's a Indigenous women's triathlon, and we encouraged, they didn't have to go, but we encouraged that the young men in our program come and support, and they were there, and they're very supportive,
and they walked with us.
Yeah.
They walked with us.
So, what's your question?
If you don't come back.
All right. So this will be our final thing we'll say. I'll start. I started when I was 13. I was young, shy, very I'm still introverted, but it was what made me kept coming back is that it was kind of when I was 13, it was seeing that food grows, which is obvious. You grow your own food. You can grow food, but that it's possible and that it's something that can happen. And it was so much fun. It wasn't like a chore. It wasn't like going to school. It it was easy, and it just seemed like the right thing to do. It didn't seem like something I had to do. And even after I didn't go to the program anymore, like my senior year of high school got really busy, so I didn't go. And I felt really guilty about that. But any time I could, I kept coming back to Dream of Wild Health just because I love it and I support it that much. And I think everybody needs to know about how amazing it is. And now that I'm 21, I finally got the chance. I got the chance to work there as an employee, and I just felt really, really lucky. And I'm so happy. I couldn't be happier.
I don't even look at it as a job at all. It does not feel like a job to me. And it's a really amazing opportunity that I have been given, and I do not look at it as a job. Usually, like, people are like, I hate my job, and I'm like, I can't relate. And I wake up every morning and I'm like, I'm so happy to go there, and on the weekends I'm kind of bummed out because I'm like, man, I want to go back, but then I'm like, there's always Monday. So thank you.
It's so awesome that we can see like how the food grows, like Sean said. Like, I thought you could just get it at a grocery store and it'd be fine, but now I know how it grows. I know how to make my own squash, cucumber, zucchini. I can identify all of it. I know medicinal plants. I know how to like fix bug bites. I know how to like fix my bone if I like sprain it or something with like Joe Pye weed and stuff like that. It's really nice over there and I love it. And my friends, I made really nice friends and I love them so much. I miss my friend so much. I'll see her soon probably. But I miss her so much and she's so funny and I love her and I love all of them. They're all so nice to me and they all accepted me even though I'm just like brand new. I'm like, this is my first year here. But I love them all so much. They're all so nice to me, and it's like so welcoming that I want to come back to it, and I want to see Hope, I want to see Taya, I want to see Faith. They're all so sweet, and I love them.
That was sweet. Yeah, I think a lot of it is the people. When I first came, I didn't know anyone at all. I didn't know any of the leaders. But when I came, like, I don't know, I could just immediately tell the atmosphere was so different. All the leaders were like, oh my goodness, hi, how are you? It's so nice to meet you. Like Ernie and Hope and Estelle, I remember, they were all so nice, and it was kind of just like having an instant family. I don't know, it's just the leaders, they care so much, and it's, I don't know, they're just really engaging, and I know that they believe in me, and I know that they'll help me get to where I want to go if I put in the work. And then also, the other youth that I get to spend time with, they're so amazing, and we all just bond so much, and I don't know, it's just my favorite part of the summer, going back. It's definitely not a job. We all just can't wait to see each other again, and so it's really just an amazing opportunity to have, and I really love it.
So my advice is when you're starting these groups like this, stay really, really close to the land. Don't get carried away with academia or bureaucracies or papers and pens and things like that. Stay really close to the land, because when you're on the land, your papers blow away. You lose things like that. So
we have first-hand experience.
It's hard work. It's hands, using your hands. It's real things you need to learn. Like, any of these young ladies can survive now. They can build a fire, they can shoot archery bows for meat, they can forage for medicines, they can plant a spiral garden with 3 sisters in it. They can do things like that. So that's what you want to aim for, is start out in a circle close to the land with your elders and be really, really good to the kids. Look up to them. Don't look down on them ever. Look at them as they're closest to the Creator, the youth are, and our elders. So when you have elders and youth together, a magic creates. And especially when you get out of a building, get outside, get, on your Mother Earth. That would be my best advice. And people would come up to me and say, have you heard of so-and-so Native youth? And I said, no, I haven't. Well, they're awesome. They get straight A's or whatever. And I said, well, they must not be too good because they haven't been a garden warrior. But that's me, because so if you know any really good Native youth, send them to us. We want to work with them. We want to support them in their lifelong dreams and goals of being really healthy Native people.
I think that's it.
Miigwech.
Yeah. Thank you.